Welcome back everyone to DIY December Day 16, my series where I show you all of my DIY tips and tricks in a budget-friendly way. For today's tutorial, I'm going to go over with you guys how I did my floral arrangements for our wedding. Now, something that's trending right now are these smaller bouquets. Mine was slightly bigger than my girls, but all you need is something to hold as you're walking down the aisle. The simpler the better, so it doesn't take away from your gorgeous wedding gown. This was an image I found on Pinterest that was my inspo, so going into Trader Joe's here, I wanted to recreate something similar to this. So I went about grabbing some baby's breath and also some white roses. For my own mental sanity, I did do a trial run a week before my wedding just to make sure I was capable and I did achieve the look I liked. Then 3 days prior to the wedding, one of my girlfriends, Steph, was kind enough to go to Trader Joe's in the morning and just scoop everything up for me. Then she brought it over to my parents' place when we were doing our spray tans, and we pretty much just laid everything out and just prepped all the flowers for doing the arrangements the next day. Now, when I say prep, I'm just going to show you what that exactly entails. So I like to cut the plastic straight open. It's just easier for cleanup, and also don't cut your rubber bands because we are going to need this for the bouquets. Go ahead and pull out one of your roses. Just make sure you're not going to prick yourself with the thorns on it, and then pull off any excess petals that look like they're kind of discolored. If you're having a flower girl, make sure you save the petals because then you can always add it to their basket. Once your flower looks good, I prefer to have the leaves cut off of it, so I'm just going ahead and trimming all of them off so it's a nice clean stem. And whenever I get flowers, I like to cut back a few inches off just to give it a fresh cut. I was always taught to cut on an angle. I don't know if that's correct. I am in no way a florist, but do as you want. I find they last longer when I do this. And then go ahead and just repeat this for the rest of your roses. Make sure you're trying to cut them all the same length so then it's all nice and even for when you're going to set up your bouquet. And if you do cut down your thorns, it's probably your safest option so your girls aren't injuring themselves during your ceremony. And here's why I recommended keeping that plastic on your table as you are working, just so it's for an easier cleanup for you. Now, because this was a demonstration purpose, I didn't rush to Trader Joe's in the morning, so I only was able to get one set of these baby's breath. I would have gotten more if I could, but I am still going to show you regardless. And yeah, just make sure you're cutting it down to about the same size as the roses. And guys, I can't stress enough, make sure if you are getting these for the wedding day that you are going first thing in the morning a couple days prior, just to make sure you get your first pick of the litter, because I know that's when they put them out. In order to assemble your bouquets, you're going to need your rubber bands, silk ribbon, and a hot glue gun. You don't need to use silk, but this is the one I liked, and I got it off Amazon, so it is linked on my storefront. Now, if you remember my Pinterest inspo photo, it was a very full white rose bouquet. So I am trying to open it up here, but obviously this is not working well, and it is taking me forever, so here's the alternative. You're going to go ahead and try to cup your fingers around the outside of the petals, and then you're going to kind of work your way in as you're going out, and then you're just going to kind of slowly push them, but you don't want to do too aggressively because you don't want to detach them. And as you can see, it is really starting to open up as I go into the flower more. And I probably do this about 2 or 3 times before I got to the look I really liked. And you'll see as I go, I start to assemble it by interchanging the baby's breath and the roses. And if you lay this down first as you're assembling, you're going to make your life a whole lot easier. I did use about 6 roses for my bridesmaids bouquets, and mine was probably about 10 or 11. When all said and done, the cost of this total was about $70, but the thing is, I had a lot left over, so I started making mason jar vases of the same kind of bouquet just for the rehearsal dinner to give a little decor on the tables. So if you are going for the same look, just kind of mind what you want the bouquet size to look like. If you want the same, you'll probably need, depending on how many girls, you can factor that in. But once you're happy with the assembly of your flowers, go ahead and take your rubber band that you saved and just tie it around, because this is going to help just stabilize it, because just having a ribbon is going to fall all over the place. And don't worry about the length yet, because you're probably going to end up cutting it the day before. And don't be too strict on your placement, because you can always adjust that once the rubber band is on. And also, my main technique with arranging these florals was to really try to get the baby's breath in between all the roses, so it kind of gave them a little separation from each other and they weren't stacked too tightly. If I did have more baby's breath, I would have put more around the outskirts of it, but you get the point. Once you feel like you're in a good spot, go ahead and grab your ribbon. And my main goal with the ribbon was just to hide the rubber band, nothing more. And then I just hot glued the 2 ends down. Honestly, in majority of our pictures, you don't even see the ribbon, so don't be too hard on yourself when you're trying to do this part. And just so you guys can see, this is what the flowers started looking like the very next morning. They start to curl on the petals, and that's exactly the volume you want in your bouquet. And here they are in the sunlight in all their glory. And at our rehearsal dinner, looking even more pretty in a mason jar. And on our wedding day, looking even glamorous in photos. And that's all I got for you guys today. If you made it this far with me, I'm giving you guys a hint. Tomorrow will be my next giveaway. And in order to qualify into my giveaway, you need to be following me here on TikTok and also my new Instagram account. So make sure you keep a lookout for tomorrow's DIY December.